All right, so for our review, okay, number one here says in inequality notation, how would you represent y is all integers greater than 4 and less than or equal to 29? Okay, we're going to start off by saying we have a lower limit set by greater than. Our lower limit is 4 because it does not say or equal to, we are going to exclude our lower limit of 4. Okay, because we're excluding it, we are going to use parentheses. Okay, and then we have a upper limit of 29. It does say or equal to here, so we are going to include it with a set of brackets. But because they want inequality notation, okay, we're going to bring down our lower limit of 4, our variable of x, and our upper limit of 29. We're going to put our less than symbols in between. And then because it says or equal to, and we used a bracket, okay, we are going to put a line underneath of our second less than symbol to make it a less than or equal to sign. Okay, there's our answer for number 1. For number 2, it says, what is the domain of the function represented below in the table? Remember, when we're dealing with a domain of a table, we're just listing our x values. Okay, our domain is our x values. And we always want to list them from from least to greatest. So we're going to say our open curly brace, our lowest x value, which is 3, then 6, 9, 12, and 15. And that would be our domain for number 2. Number 3 says a Christmas tree farm charges a $10 entrance fee and $75 per tree purchased. There is a limit on the number of trees that can be purchased per family, which is 5 trees. Okay, letter A here says, what is the range of the function? We're going to list out our y values. Okay, and our range is going to be 10, 85, 160, 235, 310, and 385. Okay. Now it asks us to write the equation of the function represented in the table. Okay, it asks us to write the equation of the function represented in the table. Now for this, right, we need to know our y-intercept, which is our b value, and our slope. Okay, we need to know our y-intercept and our slope. Okay, so they give us all of this information. If we look at our information in the equation, okay, they tell us this per tree. Anytime you see the word per, that is your slope. Anytime you see the word per, that is your slope. So we have y equals mx plus b, where m is our slope and b is our y-intercept. So we're just going to plug this value of 75 in for our slope. So we say y equals 75x. Then we're looking for our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is where x is equal to 0. Okay, so in that case, we need the number 10. This is our y-intercept. Again, because x is equal to 0. So this is going to be plus 10. So our equation is y equals 75x plus 10. Now it says if Austin's mom buys 3 trees, how much is her total for the trip? Well, the easiest way to do this is to look at our table. Okay? Since we have a value of 3 trees, all we have to do is write this number right here. So this is going to be $235. Excuse me. Okay? Moving on to number 4, it says write the domain in inequality notation given the verbal description below. Again, inequality notation, we're going to use less than and less than or equal to. Okay, it says the domain is all real numbers greater than or equal to -6. So since we have a greater than, that's going to be our lower limit, so we put our -6 there. We're talking about our domain, so we're talking about our x values. Okay, so we put our x there. And then it goes on to say, and less than or equal to 19. So 19 is our upper limit. We put in our less than symbols. And after our greater than, it does say or equal to. So we are going to put our or equal to line underneath. After our upper limit words of less than, it does say or equal to. So we are going to put our line underneath to make it a less than or equal to sign. And there is our answer to number 4. Okay, you could have also started like we did the last one and had your -6 for your lower limit, your 19 for your upper limit, and used brackets, and then gone on to your inequality notation. Okay, moving on to the back. Right, number 7 says an ice rink charges $250 for using a locker for up to 2 hours. They charge an additional 2 hours for each additional hour of use. If Cooper spent $15 to rent a locker, how long did he rent a locker for? Okay, so for this one, right, we can create a table. Right? For our x values and our y values. For our x values, we have to rent the locker for 2 hours, it costs $250. For the third hour, we add $2 more, so it's $450. Okay, for the fourth hour, we add 2 more, so it's $650. For 5 hours, it's $850. 6 hours is $950. 7 hours, I'm sorry, this is $1050. This is $1250. For 8 hours, it's $1450. For 9 hours, it's $1650. Okay, for this, all right, 8.5 hours would be here. We can rent the whole 8 hours. We can rent the whole 8 hours. We can't pay for that 9th hour. Okay, the cost of renting a car is $75 per day plus 5 cents per mile driven. What is a reasonable range for this function? Okay, what is a reasonable range for this function? When we're talking about reasonable range, we are talking about our real world situation. Okay, so we're not going to have a negative cost for this vehicle. Okay, for this one, okay, this is a typo. Actually, no, it's not. I'm sorry. This is not a typo. Since we're talking about the cost of renting a car, okay, the lowest denomination we can possibly go is 0.01. So our answer is going to be B, all positive numbers that are in multiples of 0.01. All positive numbers that are in multiples of 0.01. Okay. For number 9, it says, which interval notation matches the inequality notation for the domain -7 is less than x is less than or equal to 19. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look for a lower limit of -7. All of these have a lower limit of -7. But because we are excluding our -7, we need to make sure that we're using parentheses. We have parentheses here and here. So that means we can cross off C and D. Okay, now we're going to look at 19. It is a positive 19, which we have in both spots, but it is included because of this symbol. So we need brackets. The only one with a bracket is B. And then last but not least, we have number 10. What is the domain and range of the following graph? Well, to find my domain, I'm going to stick my pencil all the way to the left. And I'm going to go from left to right. The first thing I hit is a circle. Okay, that circle is at -8. So I know my domain has to start at -8. With that being the case, I can cross off C and D here. Okay, now, because it's an open circle, I'm going to exclude that value of -8. Okay, because I'm excluding this value of -8, okay, that means that I'm using a parenthesis. Okay, there is only one answer that has a domain of -8 with a parenthesis, and that is A. Okay, to check it, we can continue along. We notice that our +8 is included. We use a bracket for our +8 for our domain, so we're right again. Okay, as we work from the bottom up, okay, the first number we hit for our range is going to be 0. Okay, the first thing for our range is 0. Because it's a closed circle, we're going to include it, so there's our bracket. The last number that we hit for our range is going to be 4. Because it's an open circle, we're going to exclude it, so we used parentheses. Okay. If you have any questions, please email me. I'll try and answer your questions as much as I can tonight. All right. But other than that, good luck. Make sure you study up for your test tomorrow.